Welcome to Healthy Aging with Gina, the program that is for those of us who want to be younger for longer. Now, if you are joining me for the first time, our program starts with 10 minutes of very, very simple exercises. So, before you leap out of your chair, and you might need to because if you're sitting in the sofa, I want you to get a nice firm chair so that you can be sitting upright. And we are just going to do 4 simple movements, 4 songs that are going to work on your spine, they're going to work on your creativity and fun, they're going to work on releasing tension in the joints, and we're going to work on the legs. So, if you're ready, then we can just roll it and let's get going. So for the spine, all I want you to do is just gently, from central position, just move towards your knees and come back. You can take your hands also, allowing you to push out. Now we're going to take the hands a little further forward, push out further, stretch out these shoulders. Push it out. Nice. Very good. Last one of these, and then we're going to come back and we're going to sit central. We're going to have the hands here and just slide them to one side. Always let the head follow the hands. These exercises are gentle, but you will find in 10 minutes we move pretty much every joint, all the muscle groups. And 10 minutes of exercise can make you feel really good. So stretch, hands, and the head follow the hands. Stretch it out. Last one each side. All right, this time we're just going to slide the hands straight forward as if we're stretching forward across the table. Keeping these hands flat, stretch it out, chin out. And again. Feels good to stretch the body. Stretch it in directions we don't normally stretch it. So we're going to do some very simple stretches now. Hand on the knee, hand on the shoulder. We're taking this elbow over to that knee. So you're stretching it down, coming back up. It's not fast. Last one on this side, and let's change sides. You've always got to balance the body. Do the same thing each side. Down we go. Keep it going. Oh, it feels good to stretch out the back. Very good. Now, hands to shoulders. We're going to take them up, and we're just going to turn side, side, side. Again, can you see that the head is going with the hands? Easier on the neck. Bring the hands down, face height now, and just twist it. And it's a slow turn to the side. Side, and it's like a push. Push the air. Lovely. Now the next one is we are in an imaginary orchestra. So we just have to grab, what are we going to grab? Let's grab a violin first. I want one foot tapping. You got your violin here? That's not a violin, Gina. I think that's a guitar. I'm just making sure you're paying attention. So is my brain. Okay, tap. Got to make mistakes occasionally. I'm human after all. Mistakes are guaranteed. So we're strumming. These fingers are strumming, and it's strumming in front. Now you've got to change sides. That means the other foot's got to tap. We're ambidextrous guitar players today. What about imagining the guitar has a really long arm, so you've got to play it out here. Stretch it out. What about that? What about grabbing some drumsticks? I've never played an instrument, but what's good about this exercise is you're using your brain, imagination. Okay, cross the hands. Keep the feet tapping. Musicians are always tapping their feet. Jogging their heads. Hitting the cymbals. And the other side. That's good. Piano. Here we are. Short and sweet, little bit of music. Right, now we have to shake. because this is now about releasing tension, joints and muscles, and you just shake the hand down. As if you're splashing water off it. Splash it out in front of you. Splash. Good. Change hands, start beside you. Nice. And in front. Hands are all floppy. Wave them. Probably feel everything jiggling in your body here. Arms up. Imagine you're waving at someone. One arm down, one up. Got it? One up, one down. Everything's shaking, 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 shaking. Probably feel these shoulders are going to come off. What about shaking the hips? You see why you need to be in a sturdy chair for this. Shake one leg. Shake the hands at the same time. More body parts that you move, the more the heart's got to work. I should have checked it on my watch and told you what my heart rate was before we started. All right, this time we're going across the body. So it means the foot and the hand are both waving. Both shaken. You will find that the ankle is not the most waveable joint that we have. Change sides. See what I mean? This one doesn't want to work. Shake both hands. Shake both shoulders. Arms down by your side, one shoulder up, down, and quicker. Phew. So that's about shaking it. Now the last one, we're just going to finish up with a few minutes on the legs. So I just want to feel that these legs are going to be doing a little march to begin with. And we're going to march them out. So it's like a big march. Wide march. Bring them in. And we're going to tap the heel forward and back. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. You can use your arms as well as your legs. Other side. Oh, I feel my heart's working a little harder. What about yours? Remember, you pace yourself. These exercises anybody can do. It doesn't matter what your age. You can be a little bit older. You can have your grandchildren with you. They can do it with you. It's great fun. Just kick the foot out, one at a time. If you're not active, these 10 minutes a day is a great way to start. Your body will thank you. Nice. And walk it. All right, now I want the feet open a little bit. We're just going to tap these heels, bring the arms round. Round, 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 quite fast. Other way. And let's bring the knees in together, cross the hands. Dancing in your chair. What about alternating to the knees and then the shoulders? Knees, shoulders. Fast movements, change movements, make your brain go, help. Where am I going? Here, there, here, there. And walk it again. Alternate heel kicks out to the side. All good. Work for the hip, knees, ankles, and point. I hope you're doing this with me. If you're sitting there watching, you're missing the point. This is interactive. One doesn't get to interact that often with the television. So I hope you are. Keep it going. We're taking one foot forward and the other. Forward. Tap in. Tap. Tap. Sometimes you forget how long 10 minutes can be. We are almost there. I know this is song number 4. Feel your heart rate going? Nice. Step it out. Side to side. 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 kid. Marching? Phew! That was 10 minutes of fairly active exercise. I hope that you enjoyed it. 4 simple exercises, and I'm going to look forward to welcoming back my special guest who you got to meet last week, Lisa Hudson-Peacock of Southwood Financial Services, for us to find out more what we need to know about financial planning. See you in a minute. Welcome back to Healthy Aging with Gina. I hope you enjoyed your exercises, and I hope that you are ready to carry on our conversation from last week. Our special guest, Lisa Hudson-Peacock of Southwood Financial Planning, is here, and we're going to pick up where we left off, which was trying to find out what the balance is that we should be doing. Lisa, welcome back to Healthy Aging with Gina.
Thank you so much for having me back again, Gina.
Well, wonderful, wonderful. Now, do we remember where we were last week?
We do. I made note of that.
Thank
So yes.
For that. An intelligent woman with finances, we're in the right hands.
Good. So what we were chatting about, which is an ever-present challenge in working with clients, is the fact that because we deep dive into a client's goals and objectives, we use behavioral coaching principles to really understand a client's values and their money story. We end up having numerous goals. And the question that's often asked is, how do I balance that? And a recurring example of that is clients asking me, we have a mortgage bond,
right,
and we realize we need to save. How do we balance the two?
Right.
My parents made a point of paying off their mortgages before they started saving, so we think we should be doing the same. Isn't that the best thing to do?
Right.
And the answer is always preferably not, because what one does if one waits till later to save is that you often don't allocate as much as you think you will allocate at that point.
Okay.
But more importantly, you lose time and the great power of compounding on those savings, which happens over time.
That's the big one for everybody in finance, isn't it? The compound interest.
Compounding effect is absolutely huge. It is the 8th wonder of the world, we like to call it. So for younger clients, I like to suggest, well, actually for all clients, that they balance out additional payments into their bond and use of tax-efficient savings vehicles such as RAs and TFSAs to allow not only the compounding effect of the investment return to work in their favor, but also the compounding effect of the tax-free growth to work in their favor.
So you're recommending they're putting extra money into their bond in their while they are earning and...
Yes. Definitely, it's part of paying yourself first. I believe that the additional R100 a month will make an impact on the term of the bond repayments. And to illustrate that, we do have a calculator that we use with clients that takes current repayments and bond rates and the likes, and very clearly shows to clients how much interest they're saving and how they're reducing their terms by increasing their bond repayments, whether it be 100, 200, 300 Rand a month. It's great when you see the Rand value of positive effect of that increase. It's much greater than you would think. So to increase one's repayments on the bond marginally, while at the same time allowing some compounding to happen on the investment side. So it's about speaking to a financial planner, given that one has all these goals, and balancing the allocation of cash flow or the allocation of your assets between these various goals and objectives.
Because we hear about the buckets, don't we? That we need to be allocating money into different things, and I don't think enough people get recommended that they should be putting extra money into their bond, and things like car payments. Do you reckon that they do that, or does that not make such a difference?
Short term, because it's short term financing, it doesn't make as large a difference.
So the biggest difference is on the property.
Exactly. That we allow to sit in that sort of fixed, non-discretionary line of the budget.
Right.
But talking about buckets, that's a very interesting, and at the moment in our business, quite a focus given certain new clients that we're taking on. Retirement income planning.
Yes.
How, as a retiree, if you have potentially just sold a business and have a large amount of capital, which is essentially your retirement nest egg.
Yeah.
Where do you start?
Yeah.
For those clients who are in that position, it's often quite overwhelming. So very simply, we suggest the structure as follows. We use at least 4 buckets.
Okay.
And they each are focused on various investment time horizons. Because as much as it's very difficult for us as humans to think longer than 5 years,
Yeah.
If you're in one's 50s, one's 60s, you still potentially have 30 years that you need to fund. So it really is important to look long term as well. So we'll do a few things, and I think in constructing these buckets, we do talk to some of the risks and problems that some people have. And in our first bucket, we generally fill that up with cash or very low risk investments,
okay,
which aren't likely to be subject to great volatility. And we help clients by working through the numbers and allocating sufficient to our short-term buckets such that it will cover income,
yeah,
for the first potentially up to 36 months or 3 years, as well as any unforeseen expenses or emergency expenses that might crop up. And in so doing, one doesn't draw down in the near term,
right,
from a high risk part of your portfolio, which might be volatile and having decreased in value. So it gives,
spreading everything out. It's
yes,
it's not in one place.
Absolutely, and it gives it starts to give the rest of your portfolio, your lump sum, sufficient time to achieve the expected investment return.
It's the golden rule, isn't it? They tend to stay with stocks and shares. You've got to be willing to get in and to stay in, because there is the volatility, but overall time has proven that you just stick.
And absolutely, and last year was a great case in point.
I hear it was.
That was 2020 was the shortest bear market in history. Global markets were down 20%,
right,
in the shortest period of time, but recovered even quicker.
Right.
So it just shows you that you need to stick to your metal. So generally over the medium term, we'll allocate capital to multi-asset portfolios, which brings diversification into the portfolio. And very simply put, diversification is your split between various asset classes, okay, cash, bonds, property, and a bit of equities. And then, as you were saying, long-term growth assets, equities, one needs to give growth assets such as equities, both domestic and offshore, enough time to achieve that risk-adjusted return that you would like. And by constructing broader portfolios like this, we allow for the client's income drawdown to be from the lower risk parts, giving, in some instances, 50% of bulk of the portfolio time to grow at an above inflation rate, which is really, really important. And that talks to one of the risks that often retirees make, and that is not taking enough risk.
Right.
One thinks that at retirement, given that you're in income drawdown phase, you need to take all the risk off the table. And that is not the case. But your portfolios do have to be appropriately structured in order to take that risk sensibly.
So we're spreading our buckets out, and I think, Lisa, based on these 2 conversations that we've had, I think it's obviously really important that one goes to the right kind of person, yes, to get the right kind of advice. So when someone needs to be talking to somebody, where should they be going? What should they be looking for? Well,
firstly, I think the most important aspect to a planner is their professional designation. Your Certified Financial Planning, or CFP designation,
right,
that one obtains through the Financial Planning Institute, will immediately allow prospective clients to know that they adhere to a certain code of ethics, right, and standards of professional conduct, and will go above and beyond. They will be fiduciaries who will put the client's interests before their own, and they will continually educate themselves.
And that's something they have to do every year, isn't it? They have
yes.
to do ongoing education so that you know that if one came to a certified financial planner, that you've got someone who's got both experience and is both up to date.
Absolutely. And an example of that is the recent changes in legislation with regards to immigration and retirement funds. They've quite dramatic changes, which we need to be on because we do need to advise clients in the context of those legislative changes. I think another very important aspect for a financial planner, for a client, is that they are truly independent.
Yes.
That they aren't affiliated to any bank, life company, investment company, and they can truly provide advice, being their product, and if requested to implement, they are able to look across the board at the most efficient, cost-effective means of implementing that advice. And I think in order to do that, one really needs to be truly independent.
And I think that's one of the great advantages of Lisa and you and your team at Southwood Financial Planning, that you are independent, that you've got 20 years experience with that business, plus all the business before. You're all certified professionals. So great place to come to and to get advice. I know that you're on the internet, you're on Facebook, that we're going to be able to help guide people to be able to find you, to go and find out some more information.
We have 3 CFP professionals in our practice.
Great.
And one that I'm particularly proud of in the sense that she did her university course and her postgrad through the business.
How exciting.
Having just come out of school.
Wonderful.
So it's almost like having a child that's achieved that designation.
Very satisfying. And all women as well.
Absolutely, though I do say that most of our clients are male. It's more ended up being by luck than design.
Right.
But we are the only professional practice, of which there are 14 registered in the country. We're the only all-female professional practice in South Africa.
Well, there we are. Sound right up there, Lisa, at the very, very top. So I feel honoured that here at Healthy Aging with Gina and Bricks TV, we were able to welcome you, have you with us, to have you share 2 weeks of experience and knowledge. And I think we're all going to go away, look at our budgets and look at our financial planning and change everything for the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Gina. And thank you very much to Bricks TV.
Great,
for
absolutely.
the opportunity.
Wonderful, wonderful. So thank you for Healthy Aging with Gina. I hope that you have enjoyed these very 2 interesting weeks of information about our financial planning lives and what we need to do to make them even better for the future. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you back next week.